Hi, it's Coach Frank here with Studio One Pilates and Performance. I've got Crystal with me today. She's going to help us out addressing some issues with some instability and things that we have in our core, and how that kind of translates into the lower legs or something somewhere else where we feel maybe we have pain on one side and not on the other. There's something else going on up higher that's causing those issues. So she's going to take us through a few different movements that we can do, you know, a few times a week or more, probably, depending on your needs. But yeah, let's go.
All right, we'll start on your back with pelvic lifts. You'll notice a theme in our classes. We always start with pelvic lifts. They usually seem to fix a whole bunch of things, and it's a really good warm-up. So working on the pelvic lift, we're looking for the spine to be nice and long, the rib cage to be closed, the belly muscles to be pulled in. So he's always working on this part. His feet are flat on the floor, and then you'll tuck the pubic bone, so press the pelvis up, lift only up to where you get about straight through, where you can see the visual straight, and then right back down. Not that you feel straight, you just look straight. You're feeling this tuck, you're feeling the lengthen all the way up and right back down. And when you're working on a really good pelvic lift, you're working on the hamstring and abdominal connection, as opposed to just lifting and lowering, which gets the glutes and the quads a little bit different. So I'm looking for the length in the lower back. Most of us sit at the computer and our upper body comes forward, our lower body kind of rounds, and we want to try to strengthen that spot all the way through. All right, a few more. Good, he's being mindful of his triangle, the big toe, the little toe, and the cinch for heel. Pressing with equal weight on both feet. So now we're going to do some marching. So stay in your pelvic lift. You're going to roll yourself up. Now guys, it's really important to skewer your hips all the way through. So hips stay square and still, and he's going to pull one leg up pretty smooth and put it back down. He's going to pull it up to tabletop and then pull it up to tabletop. So much higher than that, you're getting some drop in the hip, just barely lift and lower. If you're not quite able to get up that high, then just barely lift until you're able to get stable enough. And again, we're watching the foot. The foot stays flat on the floor. You're trying to draw the heel and the toes flat on the floor. Engage this hamstring to get it through. We'll do a few more. Notice he's working on his breath as he goes back and forth. It's not about how fast you can go. I'd rather a few, good quality, than the quantity.
How many should they do?
Do about 10 on each leg if you can work up to that many. 10 total is fine too. And then right back down. All right, so the next one we're going to work on a stability part for a single leg. So in that pelvic lift one more time, he's going to stay all the way up there. Now keep that form nice and long. He's going to straighten his right leg to the ceiling. Now on this one, guys, try to keep the knee straight-ish. You're going to lower the leg a couple inches and then press it right back up. Now a good one, you're trying to lower it to the middle of the calf and get it just to the ceiling. So you're trying to make it that big, but make it as big as you can for the moment. You're trying 8 to 10. Now keep this side of the hip lifted. Yeah. As you go back down, rest in between when you need to. I'd rather you rest in between and get some good quality ones than to stick with it just because you got to get through 10. So same thing, ribs are closed, get the leg towards the ceiling and then down towards that calf if you can. He's doing a great job of keeping that knee long. Notice at the very top it's got to buckle just a little bit because he's tight. So you guys work on just keeping it as stretched as you can. Toes are pointed. That looks fantastic. So just a few on each side. Again, work your way up to 10 or so. Now this next two in the pelvic lifts, we're going to work on the ankle stability. Guys, this one's really important to keep your positioning the right place. So in that pelvic lift one more time, roll them up. So now the knees are going to stay still, the hips are going to stay up, the toes are going to stay on the floor, and you're going to do a calf raise. So both heels go up and down. What I'm looking for is that the ankles go right over the toes as they lift up and down. Not about how high. This one's trying to get the hamstrings to engage a little bit more, get some pressure on the calves and on the ankles to lift and lower, and get your feet to get a little bit stronger on your toes and all the way through on the floor. So about 10 here, and then lower right back down. All right, one more time for the ankles. So this time we're going to lift the toes up and down. So one more, tuck and curl. Now stay up there, keep the ribs closed. Now you're going to keep the ankles tight, keep the heels down, and you're going to lift the tippy toes up and down. And what you're doing here is you're trying not to pull out on either side of the ankle. Let those toes go straight up and down. You should get a good flex here if you're stretchy enough in your Achilles and strong enough. We'll see what happens when you guys start, and then make it a little bit bigger each time. This one's strengthening the tibialis anterior, great for shin splint issues or calf and shin issues. All right, so far so good. So now the next one, so we worked on the stability of the pelvic floor, the pelvic lift, the pelvic complex. Now we're going to work on the side of the hips. So he's going to lie on his side. This one, guys, I'm going to give you a pretty advanced exercise to work on the glute med. So on your elbow, both legs are straight. So I got 3 exercises here for you. You're going to try and do 10 of each. You're trying to keep the chest open, the head pulled back, both legs are straight, both feet are flexed. Your hip is on the floor, and you're going to lift your top leg up only to 45 degrees, and then right back down. You got it. When you lift, you're trying not to let it come forward, because then you're working your quad and your TFL, this little pocket muscle. You're trying to get the top of the glute to work and the outer thigh. So this one you've got 10 or so, stability all the way through. He's working on a shoulder blade, the waist is lifted, get that hip to go.
That's 10.
The second one you're going to bicycle, I'll get out of your way. So you're going to send it forward and then bicycle that leg all the way around. So this one you're going for 10 each way. It should start to burn after a little bit, especially for you runners that don't work the outer thighs as much as you work the quads and hamstrings. So we'll try 10 in this direction and then reverse it. Still being mindful, guys, of your posture. Your posture is so important. So re-cue yourself every couple of repetitions or every couple of exercises. And always come back to neutral in between either the exercise or in between the sets of what you're working on. All right, when he's done there, he's going to stretch. So pull the top knee in towards your chest and do your splat stretch. Now this one you're going to take your time. We're not going to take as much time as you guys probably need, but you're trying to rotate the shoulder down, the knee down. You're trying to switch all the way through the vertebrae. You got to let them give wherever they're flexible, and then get the ones that are tight and connected to loosen up a little bit as you go. Good. All right, and then other side. So flip it around. Good. So elbow is down, head is pulled back, everything's in one straight line, feet are flexed. Always put some tension into your feet so you get some better tension all the way through your nice long legs. So go up and down, flex your feet. Rest. Good. That's one. Shoulders are down. So keeping the rib cage lifted, the shoulders are down. You got it. Then I keep cueing everything to reiterate what we need to work on. Posture is the most important part of all the above. You got it. And then we're going to bicycle one direction for 10 and then reverse it. And again, guys, it should start to burn a little bit, so do less than 10 if you need to. Good. Hold the rib cage up. Draw the shoulders down. Good. Be mindful of your breath. Inhaling for one part, exhaling for the other part. And then do your splat all the way down. Nice job. Good. All right, pull the knee in towards your chest. Arm goes backwards. Now this one's a pretty big sign to see if you're crooked or if there's other things going on. If you splat one way and it's decent, and you splat the other way and it's really different, that's another piece that we need to work on to make sure that you get a little bit more even on both. It's pretty important to be even on both sides.
What would feel different?
If your shoulder didn't go down quite as far, then your rib cage doesn't open as much. Maybe your hip is tighter on the side and the knee doesn't quite go all the way down. You're going to feel a difference depending on where you're tight in your ribs and tight in your ribs and tight in your sternum and tight in your waist, and all the above to kind of get all the way stretched. All right, come back in the center. All right, next one we're going to do is a balance exercise, rolling like a ball. So shimmy down on your mat just a hair. Guys, this one you're going to work on your balance first. So balance on this one is really pretty important. You're trying to keep your feet off the floor. You're holding onto your shins. You're finding the C curve. So you're already in that exercise part. So as soon as he curls, then you can see the balance having to find itself. So on your inhale, you're trying to lower yourself down. And on your exhale, come right back up and find your balance. Yeah. And then try again. Inhale down. And then exhale. Find that balance. Use your exhale. Get all the way back up there. You got it. All right, a couple more. Now, a common mistake is to lean back and throw your head back, so you're trying not to use momentum. Sink into your back, into your belly, and then exhale to get yourself back up there. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more advanced work, push into your hands with your shins and press your knees together to get a little bit more tension through there. Do 2 more. Inhale back and exhale. Find the balance. Balance is going to come in later, so you got to find that balance. One more time. And back. And then right back up. And then on your back. Stay on your back. All right, the next one we're going to work on your teaser. So staying all the way down, you're going to hold on to your hamstrings. So both legs are back to tabletop. You're holding onto the back of the legs. Now on this one, you're gonna use your exhale and a little bit of your momentum to get yourself up to your teaser position. You're gonna hold it up there for a split second, and then you're gonna lower right back down. Good, come up here. And then do it again. Find that little balance right before you wanna flip over and fall forward, and then right back down. Now this one we'll do a couple more, and then I'll add to it. Good. Again, he's keeping his knees pretty straight. You guys might not be able to get your knees that straight. I've worked on him for years. Exhale. You got it. Couple more. Good. Now we're going to do one more. I'm going to see if you can hold it up there. Then he's going to let go. Good. So now hold it up there. Just extend your arms and hold it for about 10 seconds. Find that balance. Stretch those legs. Draw those shoulders down. And then exhale, roll yourself right back down and relax. Nice job. All right, next one we're going to do, we're going to finish up with an abdominal burner. So we're going to try and get all 4 layers of your abdominals. This one's called crisscross, so hands behind your head, both legs tabletop. Now on this one, guys, you got to get a really good curl. So curl that chin to your chest. And Pilates doesn't focus on the pump of the curl. It focuses on the stay up in the curl. So try to stay up there. He's going to extend one leg and draw his elbow to his knee, and then he's going to switch sides. So first breath, we're going to inhale to one side and then exhale to the other. He's working on his form of his legs, stretching all the way out. Now I consider this a bicycle of your leg, but I'm really just looking for that leg to stay nice and long and get it straight and then rotate all the way up and around. He's keeping really good form all the way through on the middle of his mat as opposed to getting some side bending too. Good, one more time, and then lower right back down. So now we're going to speed that one up. And we're working on the double breath. So he's going to inhale, inhale on either side, and then exhale and switch it again. All right, now he's going to curl his chin to your chest, roll it up there. So each movement's going to get a breath this time. Inhale, switch, and exhale, switch. This way you get a little bit more breath, you get a little bit more movement into your exercise, you get a little bit more burn. Good. And exhale, exhale. Keep going. Couple more. Good. Keep that head curled all the way up. Stretch those legs. Good, let's try one more. Inhale and exhale. Nice job. And then when you're finished, you can take your hands out into a T, drop both knees to one side. That should be a nice little burn for your abdominals. My goal on that one is that you guys can do like at least 20 to 30 seconds back in a row of that one. That gets so many deep abdominal layers and all the way through that pelvic complex. You're trying your hardest not to wiggle as you do all of that one. Nice job. Very good. So I hope that's a good, helpful chunk of just some, I don't want to say basic exercises, but just some detailed exercises, just a few of them to get that lower body taken care of. This will help strengthen your ankles, your knees, and your hips. Hopefully it will translate into stronger abdominals, so you'll get less back issues if you have any back issues as well.
Yeah, and again, strengthening here and all of the whole core muscle, just not just your abs, is going to do a lot for stabilizing you and your lower body. And over time you'll start to see that as you get stronger through here and your hips and your glutes and your back and all that stuff, your posture is going to get better. And if your posture gets better, your running mechanics is going to get better. And you're going to be more balanced. And hopefully what you'll see is, unless you have some other like actual injury within the lower legs or wherever you might be feeling pain, those imbalances will go away and you'll start to feel better and run better. All right. Thanks for watching.
Then it'll be faster.
Yeah, you'll get faster. Thanks for watching.
Guys.
Bye.